Hello everybody, it's Trish the Purple Yarnivore. I am coming to you today because I am finally making the tutorial for the Pebbles and Pathways cowl. Now, I just wanted to mention I made this 3 different cowls with this pattern. You can make a shorter one, which is a little snugger around your neck if you live in a really cold environment like I do. And you don't like something to be hanging on your neck. You like it to be all nice and snug. The shorter pattern is one that would probably be better for you. Now, if you live in a place that's cold but a slightly warmer climate than sub-zero temperatures like here in Iowa, I made this one that's a little bit longer and it hangs more loosely around the neck. This one I made with Caron Latte Cakes. Caron Latte Cakes is my favorite yarn in the whole world, with Ice Yarns being a close second. I thought this one just turned out beautifully, and it is so warm. And then I made this one to match a hat that I made. I haven't sewn the ends in yet. But this is a shorter one also. So you kind of get an idea of how these work up. Now, with the longer one here, I started with a chain of 96. And with the shorter one here, I started with a chain of 72. So let's get started, shall we? So I'm going to do the shorter version today. I've already chained my 72 chains, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch to the first chain. So make sure your chain's all lined up. Move it down the line here. Make sure that your chain doesn't get twisted. Okay, and I'm just going to move this down so you get a better visual of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so you got it down. You're going to slip stitch to this first chain here. After you chained your 72 or 96. I am using an eye hook, by the way, and today I am using Big Twist yarn in the color, it's here somewhere, there we go, teal. This has 380 yards, so I have plenty of yarn to complete this cowl. This is a 4-weight yarn, medium worsted weight, and I am using an eye hook. It's a 5.25 millimeter eye hook. I like to use my boy hooks. So once you have slip stitch to the first chain and you know that your chain is not twisted, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to double crochet into that very first chain that you slip stitched into. And you are going to double crochet in every single chain around. And at the end of this round, you should have 72 double crochets. So go ahead and double crochet in every chain around, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I have made it back around. You want to make sure you have 72 double crochets. We are going to slip stitch into your first double crochet. Not easy for me. Slip stitch. There we go. We're going to chain 1. And because now we're going to be doing the bobble row, we're going to turn our work. So turn your work. And into this first stitch here, we are going to do a 5 double crochet bobble. So we're going to yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops, hold that, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and we're going to do that 5 times. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to hold on the 5th one. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all the loops. Tighten that down, chain 1. Then we're going to skip this next stitch here, and we're going to go into this stitch. We're going to do another bobble. So yarn over, go through, pull up a loop, pull through 2. After 2 of the double crochets, you should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through again, pull only through 2, that's 3. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull only through 2, that's 4. And 5. And then we're going to pull through all the loops, tighten that, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then go into the next one after that. So I'm going to do this a little more quickly this time. Woo! I said quickly, so let's just do it slow. 3, 4, 5. You should have 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, tighten that, chain 1. And we're going to repeat this all the way around until we get back to the beginning here. So you go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. So now I'm back with you. I have these last few stitches left. Now, even though on the last round you slip stitched into this first stitch here, it's still considered an empty stitch, an unused stitch. So technically you have 1, 2, 3 stitches left. You're going to do your last bobble here. You skip this stitch, do your last bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 6, chain 1. Now the reason, I think I said earlier to pull that tight, but you don't actually want to pull that tight, because you, in the next round, you're going to end up double crocheting into that. And if that is too tight, you're not going to be able to get your hook in there. Okay, so then when you're done, you're going to skip this last stitch here, and you're going to slip stitch into the top of this bobble here, chain 1, okay, and then you're going to turn your work again. So you turn your work right before the bobble row and right afterwards, and that's the only time that you're going to turn your work, okay. So you chained 1. Now this first one here might be a little difficult, but as you can see, for each bobble you have a smaller stitch and a larger stitch, and that's how it is with every bobble, a smaller one and a bigger one. You are going to double crochet all the way around in the small one, the bigger one, the smaller one, the bigger one, in every single stitch around. So while this first one might be a little challenging, they will get easier as you go around. So you're going to double crochet into that first stitch, and you're going to double crochet into the bigger V of the bobble. So you're essentially going to have 2 double crochets for every bobble around. Double crochet in that smaller one. See, that one was a little easier than that first one. Okay, and then double crochet in the next one. Double crochet into this one here. And then double crochet into the bigger one. And that's why normally, typically with a bobble, when you do this chain one, before you do the chain one, you pull the bobble tight and then you do the chain one. You want to do this chain one a little bit loosely so that you could get, not a whole lot, but a little bit more loosely so that you can get your, pull out some more yarn so that you can get your hook in it on the next round. So we're going to double crochet 2 times for every bobble all the way around until we get back to the beginning. So go ahead and do that and I'll meet you back around. Okay, so I am back around. This is my last bobble of the round, and I have crocheted into the first small stitch. Now, just like down here, this was slip stitched into, okay? But we turned after the bobble row. So this, again, is essentially an empty stitch. So we are still going to do our last double crochet into that stitch. And then we are going to slip stitch to the first double crochet. We're going to try to slip stitch to the first double crochet. Okay. We're going to chain 1. Now here comes the front and back post rows. Now in the hat pattern, okay, in the hat pattern, I've also made 3 of these. We did a total of 3 front post and back post rows. 3 front post and back post rows. Okay. But with the cowl, we are going to do a total of 4 because the cowl needs to be taller than the hat. So we slip stitched to this stitch here. We chained 1, and this stitch here is where we're going to put our first front post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, going around, maybe, go around, front post double crochet, because that's going to be your first available stitch, okay? Then we're going to front post double crochet into the second stitch. Now, in these next 2 stitches, we're going to do a back post double crochet. So we're going to back post, maybe. There we go. Back post, back post. Okay, so now we have 2 front post double crochets and 2 back post double crochets. Then in the next 2 stitches right here, we're going to do front post double crochets. Front post, front post, and then in the next 2, we're going to do back post. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. 2 front posts, 2 back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts, until we make it all the way around, back to the beginning of the round. And these back posts are a little tricky. I'll eventually get it. There we go. I just have to put my hook in the right way. Okay, back post. 2 of those. Front post. Front post. And so on. And as you can see, it's starting to create this nice ribbing. So go ahead and do it all the way around. You start with 2 front posts, then 2 back, 2 front, 2 back, 2 front, all the way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so I made it back all the way around, front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way around. Now, because you started out with 2 front posts, you want to make sure that you're ending with 2 back posts. Now, here's the part that might be a little confusing for some people. So we did this back post, okay? And you see that there's the chain 1 for the beginning of the rows, and then you have this. This here, okay, is going to be your last back post double crochet. So we're going to do our last back post double crochet right there. And then we're going to slip stitch to our first front post double crochet. Chain 1. And then we're going to do this next row again. We are going to repeat this row 3 more times for a total of 4 rows of front post and back post. So again, you chain 1. You are going to front post in these 2 front posts. And back post in these 2 back posts. Okay. Front post in the front posts. And back post in the back posts. And you're going to repeat this all the way around. When you come back around, you are going to slip stitch to your first front post right here. So this here is where you're going to slip stitch to, and you're going to do this row for a total of 3 more times for a total of 4 times. Now, when you are complete with all your rows, I'm just going to show you real quick. Okay, so when you have completed all 4 rows of your ribbing, you are going to chain 1. You are going to turn your work because you are going to repeat the bobble row. So from the bobble row, your 4 rows of front post, back post, double crochets, then the bobble row, then your front post 4 rows of front post double crochets. Okay, so the repeat pattern is bobble, 4 rows of front post, back post, and then another bobble, and then your front post, back post. So bobbles and 4 rows of front post, back post, and you'll repeat these rows. So now that we have completed the front post, back post rows, you can see I have my chain 1. I have turned my work. This is going to be your next available stitch, and that's where you'll do your first bobble. Whoop, almost went through that. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull through all 6 loops, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and bobble into the next. So as you can see, there's no double crochet rows after the post rows. You just go turn your work after your last post row and do your first bobble. Now in this, okay, I did the bobble. I did my 4 rows of post rows, and then I went into my bobbles, and then I did my 4 rows of my post bobble. Okay, so you have 3 rows of the bobbles and 2 sets of your back posts and front post rows, your post rows. Now, just like the beginning, we started out with a row of double crochet. We also want to end with a row of double crochet. So you know how we did the double crochet into 2 double crochets into the top of every bobble? We're going to do that with this last row too. And as you can see, get a better look. It turned out beautifully. This one here, like I said, this I just changed the 72. I live in Iowa. I like it snugger around my neck or more snug. I like it closer to my neck. I don't like a lot of cold air around my neck. So I made it with a chain of 72. This one here is bigger, and I made this one with a chain of 96. Okay, so I believe that you can do this. This is a really easy repeat pattern. I memorized it the first time I did it. It's so fun. It works up really quickly. It's really textured. It'll keep your neck warm all winter. And that's pretty much it. You just do your double crochet row, your bobble row, 4 rows of post, bobble, 4 rows of post, bobble, and then you end with your double crochet row. So now that I've showed you the repeat pattern, I hope you have lots of fun doing this. Please check out the matching hat that goes with it, the Pebbles and Pathways hat on this channel. And good luck with this. Have fun. Check out my Etsy store. I do have the written pattern for the hat in my Etsy shop, which I will link down below. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.